Hello, I'm Scar, and here I am back with another video for you. I have been immersing myself in Enshrouded lately. And like all games I play, I first go for any build that lets me swing a big two-hander around. But in this game there is a particular skill that we need to talk about. The jump attack. This skill is a great way to pound some fell foes to smithereens. But if you are anything like me, you have probably also had a YouTube video or something similar up on your second screen and had to pause Enshrouded to skip an ad or two on the other screen, only to unpause and do a random click while gliding or jumping, only to discover that you are now plummeting to your death. Because that random click, while having a melee weapon targeted on your action bar, results in a jump attack, and they cannot be interrupted or cancelled. Not with right-clicking, not with changing weapons, not in any way except closing the game. Something that can absolutely suck while you are deep in a dungeon or lair and some mob throws you high in the air just as you do your jump attack. But at least you get to have a long, good look at your character and your weapon of choice in a cool pose. And exactly that is what inspired me to make this video of me sculpting one of my main character's weapons, the Battering Ram Hammer, in polymer clay. So, without further ado, it's hammer time! I'll start with a grip for the handle. Now the pattern here is my own design based on how one would put leather on a real weapon handle, as I cannot wrap my head around how the one in the game is done. But unless I mention it, of course no one will know, and right, I mentioned it. Yeah. Anyway, I roll on the clay strips in a crisscross pattern with its own width and distance between it, before I fill in the gap with a third strip of clay. I'll give that a quick bake to harden it to make sure I can handle it without messing up my work, and quickly move on to the head of the hammer, and from now on I'll stay as close to the original design as possible. To save a bit of clay and to make my sculpt lighter, I shape a bit of aluminium foil into approximately the desired shape. I then cover it with clay, making sure to smash the clay with a rock to keep up my blunt damage practice. I then shape some more aluminium to bulk out the eye. No, not that kind of eye. Eye is the name of this part below the head of a hammer. I'll then move on to put some more colored clay on the head and the eye, matching the color in the game, taking into account that I will be painting it later in a black wash that will darken it a lot. And as always in my eager creation sessions, I look at my camera feed to make sure that you can see what I am doing, that the object is nice and centered, and to make sure that you don't just see the back of my hand. Right. Continuing downwards to give the end of the handle one of its parts before starting to shape and add details. There is not really much to say about the details. I add them according to what I see in the game model, but if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comment section. But for now, enjoy some details taking shape and the music. Moving on to shaping the pommel or tip and giving it a pre-baked gem on top. I realized that the gem is too small, so I made it bigger later off camera. But before that, I moved on to the head of the hammer. I spent an entire episode of my favorite show practicing my blunt damage with a rock on a piece of aluminium to shape the head, and then covered it in black clay before I baked it. But I left space for the spikes so I could reinforce them with some wire. Then it was just a matter of connecting it to the rest of the hammer and I could move on to the distinctive white fur that stands out on this weapon. However, I realized that I did not approve of the angle of the neck. So I yanked it off, went outside, and gave it a shave with my Dremel. Now it's just a matter of applying new black clay to shape the neck, give it some details, and reattach it and give it another bake. After the bake, I could get my dust mask on and file the edges on the gem and the spikes to make them as flat and accurate as possible. I could then move on to the rest of the handle and randomly decided to try out my gilding flakes before I added some more pink gems to finish it off. And now I can finally give it some paint to get the right colors. I give the edges a quick pass over with a silver pencil to match the wear and tear of the in-game model. Then give the pink crystals their appropriate shades of pink before I open my 15-year-old golden paint that I still am in awe that has not dried out yet. And with the painting done, I can call it finished. Now, am I happy with the result? Decently, but I can see a lot of things I could have improved or done differently, like the geometrical pattern on the sides. I should have shaped and baked them first to give them a hard, straight, edged finish. That way, I could have sanded them too, to give them pattern a less organic and more accurate finish. If I was to do it again, I would also have chosen either the gilded flakes or the golden paint, and not done both. But all in all, I'll call it good enough. Now, should I make my Enshrouded character next? Holding the weapon in that familiar everlasting jump attack? I have done a few characters holding weapons before, like this Warhammer and my Grim Dawn character. Let me know in the comments if you would like to see a video where I sculpt my character next. And please subscribe, I would appreciate it a lot. Have a good one. Bye!